Dawn breaks across the desert. Red blossoms spring up from a freshly dug grave. A busy street thrums with wasted childhoods. Someone doesn't hear the footsteps creeping behind them. A scream rings out, but is drowned out by the noise. This place is dying. And yet, here you are. Welcome to San Arroyo, hunters. We here at Dubious Creatures present to you the vampire with no name, Final Girl. First off, the Yorkshire County Office of the Medical Examiner. It's a relatively nondescript two-story building nestled in the downtown districts. Hardly the most exciting place. Being that it is a government facility, it is open to the public, but, well, they don't exactly let just anyone go traipsing around the morgue, so Joe, Trinity, as you walk in through the main doors and you see this slightly scuffed-looking reception area, a couple of, flowering cacti placed in the corners to make it a bit more presentable, not a lot of foot traffic in the early afternoon. What exactly is the plan?
I'm wondering if Joe could use a little bit of that influence that she has to sweet talk her way in. And the fact that Trinity's a student, maybe we could have a little free pass. At least that's what my hope is.
I'd imagine since when you worked for the Park Service, there were times when you did have to recover bodies. It happens. Accidents happen, especially out in the desert, because it can be a pretty dangerous place to the unprepared. You might have come around here with Slim once or twice in your official capacity. So, as you approach the front desk, you see receptionist behind. Says, "Can I help you with something, miss?"
Yes, hi. I don't know if we've met before. I'm Joe Carter.
Oh, yeah, I remember you. You were friends with, Wayne Jenkins.
That's right, yeah.
How's he doing? Heard his health took a turn for the worse recently.
Well, he's getting up there, but, still kicking, still full of piss and vinegar.
Right. Well, how can I help you, Miss Carter?
I'm here. This is Trinity. She's a nursing student, and she was wondering if with my days at the Park Service, I was talking to her a little bit about field dressing, and, well, considering the fact that we've got no one we can really work on, I just wondered if it would be possible for us to pop through and maybe just take a look at maybe some of the folks that you've got there, and kind of talk through what it might be like to dress a wound like that out in the wilderness. See, she's got to pass a course, and this is part of her independent study.
Well, I'd have to talk to the chief medical examiner. Normally you have to submit a form for that sort of thing. But given that you're a friend of Jenkins, and at this point, Joe, you could give me The problem is you don't have a lot of social skills.
I surely don't. I've been living out in the desert.
No. However, you do have a dot of influence, so I will say, I will allow you to make a roll of either charisma plus or manipulation plus, we'll be nice and say streetwise, given you're leveraging specifically your old bureaucratic connections for this unorthodox favor, and I will allow you to add an extra die to represent your influence.
All right, well, that's 3 successes.
The receptionist, you can tell he's mulling it over in his head. On the one hand, this is very against procedure, but on the other hand, he's not so much of a heartless bureaucrat that he doesn't want to potentially do you a solid. And eventually his better angels went out, and he says, "All right, tell you what, Dr. Kowalski is currently in between examinations at the moment. I can escort you back and let you talk to him, but ultimately, as the chief medical examiner, he does have final say. Does that sound fair to you?
That sounds great. Yes, thank you so much.
All right. This way, please. And he stands up. He puts a little sign on the desk that says, like, be back in 20. And he takes you further back into the morgue. Meanwhile, Maria and Patience. First off, after Maria's little outburst, how awkward is this drive?
Patience, like oil off a duck's back or water off a duck's back, whatever it is, she doesn't care. She's sitting in the passenger seat having a great time, probably yapping along like it's no big deal. And she definitely didn't just shake up this poor woman's world in multiple ways.
It's a lot more awkward for Maria, who needs to focus on driving while also having an existential crisis. What kind of things is Patience talking about?
Anything and everything. Weather's not too bad. Maybe after this, we could just, relax. Look, I know everything's really bad. I got some friends we could hang it, just on and on and on. Patience does not know when or how. Or should she shut up?
Yeah, well, the weather is... it's October in California, so the air's not quite shimmering with heat, but it's getting there.
I think once Maria parks, she feels she has to participate in the conversation somehow, so she just blurts out, and I was thinking about leaving San Arroyo too.
That stops Patience mid-blurb. Oh, does this have to do with the whole rebound thing? Girlfriend, fiance, whatever, life partner kick you out?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, shit.
Clearly, there's a more thriving lesbian scene in San Arroyo than I thought, even if it is involved in vampire hunting. But, she has connections in San Francisco, and she offered and then broke up with me, which is just as well because I kind of agreed to our date before checking in with her, just because we had a momentum going.
That's just life. You flow through things, You fly together as two birds, and Patience is kind of walking backwards toward the building, almost loping around Maria. Like I said, no biggie. Just, look, I'm sorry that happened to you. And also, I'm sorry you found out that the world is a lot more horrible than it already is.
Is this sort of loosey-goosey attitude just what happens to you once you know vampires exist?
Not all lesbians in Santa Arroyo are vampire hunters. I'm just a very bad example. But, as if for being loosey-goosey or devil may care, I think that kind of just happens when you're raised by a bunch of old guys who really don't know how to have kids. I didn't have parents growing up. I had no good influences. So now you're stuck with me. Like this.
I suppose there are a lot worse people to be stuck to. Wait, what do you mean stuck? Is this sort of the thing where now if I try to leave, you kill me, or?
No. I'm not doing any manslaughter. Nothing. Assault, maybe, but only if it's justified.
Like against cops?
Mm-hmm. We'll keep an eye on you if you don't want to be involved with all this. Just, make sure somebody doesn't come and rip your throat out.
No, oh God, I hope that doesn't happen. I think she straight up, leans over and puts her hands on her knees, this is a danger to my life. And then says, no, I just mean, I have to know. I have to know now that it's a possibility. But now that I know that there are vampires in Santa Rosa, I gotta go somewhere where there aren't vampires.
I hate to break it to you, sweets, but there's vampires everywhere.
What do you mean? Everywhere?
And on that note, you arrive at the Scarlet Sage. It's this kind of out of the way building. It's one of those constructions that clearly got built around at some point. Like the building is older than the block it currently sits on, so it's kind of weirdly sandwiched between two other locales. One of them appears to be like a laundromat, and the other one a liquor store. The only way you can really identify it is this old little hanging sign that says in very flowery script, the Scarlet Sage, and sort of twisting through the lettering is one of those crimson datura blossoms that's endemic to the region.
Never got the decoration myself.
So what is this place?
It's like one of Trin's nerd hangouts, I think.
Uh-huh.
A lot of the community college kids go here. So we're just gonna, say we know Trinity Fong or whatever, they'll let us in, and then I guess you use your big old wrinkly professor brain to find out if or when there might have been Also, by the way, this is just a little piece of advice. You don't say vampire out in public.
Okay.
They always have ears everywhere, and Patience is right in Maria's face.
What does that mean?
They got daywalkers, too. People who will listen for them. Wrist suckers, although Joe uses a much more polite term than me. Just keep it low. We're just here to look at history. It's for a project or something. Capiche?
Okay.
You got this. Come on. Don't look like you just saw a dead animal on the side of the road. Cheer up. Big smiles.
She gives the biggest, most awkward smile you could possibly imagine.
We'll work on that.
Meanwhile, Joe, Trinity, you're escorted back past the offices where they do most of the clerical work, and eventually you start to hear the telltale hum of like the large freezer units of the morgue itself. As you approach and walk into the main facility itself, again, pretty standard affair, large stainless steel tables, a large back wall of freezers, medical equipment, large industrial sinks. You see a man in a lab coat, gloves, and a Friday the 13th hockey mask standing over one of these bodies as a receptionist just kind of clears his throat, and the man standing over the body just kind of flips up the mask. Yes, can I help you? Dr. Kowalski, hi. These women are here to see you. Something about something about some kind of medical study? Oh, I don't remember signing any forms. Hi, Ivan Kowalski. He reaches out to shake your hand, realizes he's still wearing the gloves, takes them off, throws them in the biohazard bin, then goes to shake your hand.
I think Trin will shake his hand. Yes, I'm a nursing student actually at Sacred Mercy. They asked me to try and get some on-the-field experience as far as field dressing and stuff, but there's not a lot of opportunity to get hands-on with that. And we thought, my friend Jo here, I've known her for a second. She thought she'd bring me here to the morgue and see if we could get some hands-on experience, or at least some observation.
That's right, Doc. I used to work for the Park Service with Wayne Jenkins. I believe you might know him.
Oh, yeah, I remember Mr. Jenkins. Great taste in horror films.
Yes, excellent. Yeah, he never stops watching The Thing, let me tell you.
Honestly, Floyd Fest nowadays is gone to the dogs. I blame VHS personally. Just right. Well, it's a little irregular. There's certain procedures, especially when it comes to students.
I understand that. Trin here, you have some sort of a special dispensation from the school, right? You've got to get this credit done. I know that we're not going through the proper channels or anything, but she's just got to get this done sooner rather than later, just so she can graduate, you know.
Yeah, I'm a semester and a half away, and if I don't get this credit, then, I won't graduate on time. I'll have to do another semester, and that'll just, I can't afford that. I'm on scholarship, to be frank. I really need to get it done, and we're just hoping for something, please.
Trinity, give me charisma or manipulation plus persuasion.
2 successes, which I will willpower into 3 successes.
Dr. Kowalski, who, by the way, still has like the Jason mask, like he's pushed it up so it's kind of resting on top of his head. He fixes you with a very piercing glare. Well, I suppose it all depends. Young lady, I'm going to ask you a question, and it is very important that you answer truthfully. What,
Okay.
in your opinion, has been the best slasher film of the recent decade?
Ooh. Yeah, she bites her lip. I actually really liked Sleepaway Camp. I thought it was an interesting, use of the genre. Not a film buff or anything, but yeah.
Oh, thank goodness. Like he noticeably deflates with relief. A fellow auteur. For a moment I thought you were going to say something like Nightmare on Elm Street. Ugh.
Yeah, that one's a little too strange, but I liked what they did with some, the twist in the end and stuff, and just the character building. It's a deconstruction of the genre, and she's like fully pulling from like definitions from a film class she took like 2 years ago. Like she's kind of lying out of her ass right now.
Well, I suppose, given that I do remember how medical school was and your superlative taste, we do technically have in storage an unclaimed John Doe. Given that he in all likelihood is going straight to the incinerator, I suppose he's dead, so what harm can he do?
Well, then I guess I should scrub in. Where are your gloves and stuff?
Oh, absolutely. And he shows you, obviously the proper procedures and, all of the, he does still clearly take his job somewhat seriously. And as he's doing this, that receptionist report pops his head in again and says, Doctor, there's someone else asking for you. Busy day. I assume you have it from here?
Yeah, I just need to take some notes and look at a few things, but thank you so much.
Right. Well, I will check in a moment. But, don't do anything I wouldn't do.
She'll give him a thumbs up.
And with that, he takes off he walks towards the door, realizes he's still wearing the hockey mask. He's like, oh, right. Takes it off his head, places it on a countertop, and then heads out.
Trinh will look at Joe and just say, that guy's a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, he's a big fucking weirdo, and we got about 7 minutes before he gets back here, so let's quick.
Yeah, I will go start looking at whichever cabinet has the dead body of this dean in it.
Yeah. The two of you can give me intelligence or wits plus medicine, or intelligence or wits plus investigation.
I'll do intelligence plus medicine because I have 7 dice, and then I will also use desperation on this because I feel like it would be important.
For your inquisitive creed, yes, you could use desperation.
That will be 6 successes.
Well, I think it helps that Trinity, you're a medical student. You probably have worked on cadavers before, which means you know your way around a morgue.
Mm-hmm.
You know where specifically they'd keep the most recent cadavers. And wouldn't you know it, it looks like Dr. Kowalski left his keys in here.
They really need to fire this guy, Jesus. And she's just gonna pull this body out and start looking through it immediately.
Back at the Scarlet Sage, the two of you walk in, there's a little bell that jingles as it opens, and you find yourself in a store that appears to be one part New Age kiosk, one part hobby shop. Books on everything from the Kabbalah, Thelemic sorcery, and Indian chakras jostling for room with Dungeons and Dragons manuals and little tubs of polyhedric dice, big chunks of
Don't
rock.
even tell me about the dream catchers.
Oh, there are for sure dream catchers right next to big multicolored chunks of rock crystal.
Now, I thought I was a nerd.
No, yeah, she's like a nerd.
It's a very eclectic mix, to be sure. There aren't a ton of people in here. It's still like early afternoon, maybe 11-ish. There are a few other patrons. Towards the far wall, there's a little desk with a register. You can see behind the desk. Looks like he's got an issue of like Marvel Comics that he's currently reading. Kind of schlubby looking 30-something guy. He's got like a big bushy beard, leather vest. Underneath he has a X-File, and underneath the vest that of course has like the little frills, has this like Friday the 13th t-shirt. He definitely looks like the alpha nerd, to be clear.
And that is intimidating. Patience is gonna look a little out of her element, just tapping her arms as she crosses them. Look, I hate to ask you a favor, Maria, but like, you're really hot. And dudes like him do anything for a hot chick. Just say that you know Trinity and maybe he'll let us, I don't know, go in the back. And if he tries to do anything, I'll hit him.
Well, first of all, thank you. You're hot too. But...
Don't I know it?
Alright, just so long as I don't have to actually use my feminine wiles, I'm not good at that.
I would never put a lady in that kind of situation. And she'll crack her knuckles and make a point of it.
But, yeah, Maria knows that, to smile, and she'll approach and say, "Hi, can you help me real quick?"
He looks up and that does kind of like a double take, as you are definitely not his usual clientele. And he's like, hi?
Yeah, hi. You see, we're friends with Trinity, Trinity Fong, and we were hoping we could look in the library. She asked us to get a few things.
He kind of stops for a second. Looks like he's about to say something. Stops again. Like, I'm sorry, you're one of Trinity's friends?
Yes. We met a while ago. I work at the university. I don't come in much, but she's told me about this place, and
Wait.
she said you could help me out.
I recognize you. Weren't you on TV or something?
No, she's just got one of those faces. Aren't you going to help paying customer? And I am going to come up behind Maria and put both hands on his grimy little desk. Look directly at him.
He recoils a little bit, just like from you immediately like invading his personal space. Like,
sorry, it must be the haircut. I did get the Faradu on purpose.
Hey, saying all women look alike? Is that it? Guess you don't see that many.
No, he clearly does not know how to react in the situation. Go ahead and give me, I would say either manipulation plus persuasion or manipulation intimidation.
2 successes.
2 successes. He rallies a little bit, despite the strangeness of the situation. Wait, he puts down his comic book. Wait, no, I definitely remember. Oh, wait, you're that lady who killed that Dean guy.
Okay, I did not.
Oh no, that's fine. I fucking hated his ass.
I can neither confirm nor deny. any details about that.
Yeah, my guy, so you better use allegedly. Allegedly.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Dude was a dick. Like, I ripped at him as a professor back when I was at Stryber. Massive stick up his ass, like it was poking out of his mouth.
Oh, you were in the anthropology department, or was he teaching you something else?
No, I was trying to get I was trying to do a dissertation about looks at patients. The indigenous, he puts some emphasis on that word, cultures of the Mojave region.
Oh, yeah, he had certain prejudices.
Yeah, dude was a dick.
Sounds like it. Maybe that stick up his ass killed him. Stuck into his heart or whatever.
Here's hoping. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, if your friend's a Trinity, so you want to look at the good stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, this, well, I mean, the D&D stuff sells pretty well, but the rest of it is, you know, it was originally for all the hippies that used to, you know, commune with the spirits out in the desert in the 60s, and now it's mostly just for bored kids looking for an interesting paperweight. But this stuff, this is the real deal. As he takes like a little key ring off his belt, he walks over to one of the bookshelves, and you see he takes off one of the tomes, reaches in with the key. You hear something click, and then he moves the shelf back. You kind of both have to stand back a little bit because, again, not a lot of room in this shop. And you see, behind this door, there's a smaller section, barely big enough for maybe like a couple people to stand up in, but it is lined wall to wall with like old books. Some of them are like leather bound with obviously cracked spines. A few of them even are like in protective plastic like coverings just to keep them clear from the elements. And there's a little table in the center as this guy ushers you both in. He's like, yeah, most of the actual proceeds come from rare book sales nowadays.
So you're like an illegal librarian?
Hey, there's nothing illegal about it. It's just, you know, want to make sure that my usual customer base doesn't get their oily fingers all over them. I mean, this stuff, some of these are antiques.
Oh, you're a cartel librarian. Gotcha.
I think Maria has turned around on this situation a lot upon being presented with rare books, and has, from somewhere, presumably her back pocket, brought forth a pair of translucent plastic gloves and has snapped them on to prevent any damage to the books.
Yeah, he actually was from underneath the little table retrieving a little box of disposable gloves, and then sees you dead. It's like, see, yeah, you know what's up. It's a little bit of an eclectic collection, not gonna lie. Got a lot of connects, specifically, you know, out in places like Bay Area, Portland, that sort of thing. Subject material is a little broad, to say the least. Feel free to look. All I ask is that A, keep the gloves on at all times. B, you not take any books out of this section. And C, if you break it, you buy it.
Oh, I will take very good care of these.
All right, cool. Let me know if you need anything. Otherwise, yeah. Oh, and also, if it's in a protective case or packaging, please do not remove it. Those ones will disintegrate if not handled properly.
Spooky.
Oh, you have some really valuable stuff back here then.
Well, I mean, don't mean to brag, but... Oh, I'm Marco, by the way. Marco Stavros.
Maria, nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. All right, well, help yourselves.
I think she leans down to Patience. Okay, I had no idea this place was here.
Seems like you found your own little cut of heaven. You go ahead. I'll just make sure not to, like, breathe on anything or conjure up any Caucasian spirits with all this shit. What the fuck is that? Is that a dream catcher? No. Why does it? No. And Patience just getting herself upset. Come on, lead the way.
Don't stare
Yeah.
at it too long.
As Patience once again tamps down the instinctive rage.
Now, what am I looking for again?
We find ourselves back in the morgue where, Trinity, you open up the drawer to reveal older guy, maybe in his late 50s, definitely not in amazing shape. But reading the tag, yep, this is one Avery Blumenthal.
Okay. I am just gonna. They said exsanguination, and we know these are vampires, so I will look at the neck first.
Well, one thing stands out to the two of you without making any checks, and that is, well, two things. One, you've seen bodies before, Trinity. Generally speaking, by the time rigor mortis sets in, they don't really have much of an expression. This guy looks terrified. Like he died with an expression of just pure terror etched onto his face. That's unusual.
Mhm.
Second, there's something carved into his chest right above the sternum.
Is it a symbol of any kind?
If it's some sort of glyph or rune, you've never seen it before, it looks like a circle with a series of lines spiking out of it. These weird, wavy, primitive scratches that look almost like, you're not really sure, maybe like roots or serpents? You don't know. You've never really seen anything like this, but it was very clearly carved into this person with something very sharp.
Would I try and make like a occult roll or something to see if I recognize this at all, or would know of its origin or something?
Sure. Go ahead and give me an intelligence plus occult roll. I will say the difficulty is high.
7 on a crit.
Well then, you remember early on at Stryber, let's face it, Trinity is one of those people who spends a lot of time in the library just generally. You were gathering books for a class and you kind of stumbled upon this one old book about the early history of San Arroyo, like, Carl Stryber and the original migrants that originally found the borax mines, or rather the future borax flats that would become the mines that gave the city its name. And you were kind of leafing through it because, you're interested in history. And the history of the Old West especially is fascinating. And you remember there was this section, you didn't think about it much at the time about, I say section, it was more of like an afterword about some discoveries relating to the indigenous cultures in the area. You remember there was this discovery of these old, what they thought were some kind of like pictograms near Red Rocks. That symbol, there was an old black and white photograph in that book of that same symbol. You don't know what it represents, and neither did the author of the book, clearly. They thought it was just some kind of hitherto unknown glyph left behind by some long-vanished culture.
Interesting. Okay. I'll definitely... I don't have a Polaroid camera on me or something, otherwise I would take a picture, but I do have eidetic memory, so I will, once I'm done with everything, I will like draw it in a notebook or something. But is there anything else weird medically about how this man perished?
Go ahead and give me as you set up for like a more thorough examination, give me intelligence plus medicine. While Trinity is obviously doing her thing, Joe, what are you doing?
Joe's keeping watch, and very specifically just borderline admiring Trin's abilities and trying to keep quiet and letting her concentrate while also keeping an ear out for when she might hear footsteps down the hall again.
So that is initially 2 successes, which I will power it into 4.
Okay. So while she's doing that, Joe, if you could please give me a wits plus awareness check.
That's 2 successes.
Trinity, there's only so much you can do, right? Obviously, you can't really cut this guy open right now. That would be, even by Dr. Kowalski's, admittedly, probably interesting standards. You know, doing like a full vivisection would probably be crossing some sort of line. So you're literally just going off what you can just based on a cursory analysis. The only visible wound on this guy is whatever is this symbol. You don't find any bite marks or visible signs of anywhere else he could have reasonably been exsanguinated from, which is strange. But he is very clearly, there is no blood in this body whatsoever.
Okay. I think she'll kind of breathe out a sigh.
Then there's that expression on Blumenthal's face, because you know that is also not normal. Normally, even if somebody dies terrified, eventually rigor sets in. And they kind of have, corpses almost kind of assume these almost sleeping expressions. But the eyes, despite being clearly glassy and dead, he does have with 4 successes, he does have signs of defensive wounds. You can see bruises on his arms, where you think maybe, you're not really sure, maybe he struggled with whoever attacked him in his home. Again, you're not a forensic specialist, so you don't really know the exact pathology here. Clearly, he saw whatever killed him, and he struggled.
She has in that same way she was compartmentalizing when she was looking at Vincent this morning. She has like under her breath in like a low kind of whisper, but the room is so like quiet that I think Joe could probably hear it. She has been basically relaying everything she's finding just like verbally to herself. And when she's done, she very carefully buttons up his shirt again. Or, well, he probably wouldn't be in a shirt. Just like make sure everything is in order, puts him back the way he was found, and shoves closed his compartment, and then pulls out whatever John Doe she was supposed to be looking at, and just like is staring at it and like pretended making some notes, and gives a wink to Joe that like we're good, basically.
Joe, as you're kind of keeping an eye out at the door, you do hear the sounds of conversation again. You hear Dr. Kowalski's voice and also another voice that you don't recognize. And they appear to be both walking towards you as you hear Dr. Kowalski say, "Well, honestly, I'm all for, helping the dead find closure, but I mean, it would help if someone at least called ahead at some point." And you hear another male voice, a lot gruffer, say, "Yeah, I get it, Doc, I do, but look, I'm less here on behalf of the doctor's family and more here on behalf of AIM. They're obviously getting a lot of flack given everything that went down on Stryber, which is why they hired me to make sure that, cops can't pin one more thing on him." Yes, I understand. Well, it's this way. And Joe, again, you can't quite see them. You think they're still around the corner from you. And that's when you hear something.
What do I hear?
Let's say you don't hear anything. Suddenly, everything goes dead quiet. And then you hear a very faint sound, but a sound that almost sounds like a branch breaking, like a slight crack, then a thump. And then one guy, just one, walks around the corner. Big dude, built like a linebacker. Got a bit of, it looks almost like scar tissue crawling up his neck, up onto his face. Slowly walking down the hall, kind of looking back and forth. Clearly in a bit of a rush. He hasn't seen, you don't think he knows that you or Trinity are in the morgue right now.
I have a really dumb idea.
What is your really dumb idea?
My really dumb idea is that we crawl on one of these here bodies and slide it closed and see if this guy will pass by without seeing us.
Okay. That is theoretically possible.
I make a look over at Trinh, and I do a very pointed eyes at the door, and I make a gesture as if someone's neck has just been broken, and another gesture that we need to hide or get the fuck out of here now.
Is there a window in? Well, no, it's a fucking morgue. Of course, there's not a window in this room. What would be like? Is there any way we can get out that is not within the route of whoever this person is?
So there's only one way in or out of the morgue, because why would you want extra ways of breaking into a morgue? There are no windows, obviously, because direct sunlight can be bad for a body. So there really is only the way you came in.
Yeah, she considers that and goes, no, I guess we're hiding with the body. And this poor John Doe, well, I guess she is getting very intimate with him as she is like trying, she's a very lies woman. So she is getting into the compartment, I guess, and trying to put herself in.
Okay. Could the both of you please give me Dex plus Stealth as you hastily try to basically seal yourself inside these drawers?
I did roll a crit on a 6.
Goddamn.
Only 2 successes.
Okay, so here's what happens. I think what happens is, Joe, you're built a bit more broadly than Trinity, so you are having some trouble getting into yours. So Trinity immediately comes over to help you in, helps seal it up, and just as you do that, Trinity, you hear a voice from behind you that says, "Oh, great." And you turn around slowly, and that man is standing, filling up the doorway out of here.
Okay, whatever you need. I'm just an intern. Whatever you need, I can get it to you. And she is kind of, she's in like panic mode a bit, but she is thinking, she's trying to with her hands up, walk like kind of backwards, walk over to wherever they keep the formaldehyde.
Hey, listen. This doesn't have to get messy, he says, approaching you from the opposite side of the room very slowly. You can see he's wearing a heavy leather jacket that is clearly not at all appropriate to this weather. My name's Mike. I don't know what this is exactly, but I'm gonna reach into my jacket. Okay, I'm a PI, got my license right here.
Okay, Mike, what are you here for? And she is trying to get as close to wherever they're keeping containers of formaldehyde, and she does have a lighter on her because she smokes. So,
yeah. Meanwhile, Joe, you can hear all of this happening. It's muffled, but you can hear it.
I think Joe is staying put and listening ever so closely. At the first sign of trouble, she's not going to bust out and run the risk of Trinh getting jumped by this guy.
All right. He's reaching into his jacket, Trinity, but you don't know for what. Meanwhile, you see the jar labeled formaldehyde. I need you to give me a dexterity plus athletics roll.
That is 0 successes, which I will willpower into 2.
You reach for the formaldehyde, but he sees you, and he pulls out of his jacket, not an ID, but a gun, which he levels at you. He doesn't fire, because, well, somebody would definitely hear a gunshot. It's just like, let's not do that, little lady.
You're here for that guy, aren't you? The one on the headlines? Him?
See, you shouldn't have said that out loud. Now I really do gotta deal with you.
At this moment, Joe is going to kick open the freezer box that she's in and literally come out guns blazing and aim a shot right at this guy's head.
All right. What are you currently armed with?
I imagine that she carries like just a small pistol that she keeps in her, tucked in her jeans. Careful not to shoot off one of her ass cheeks.
So noted. All right. So he doesn't know you're there, obviously. He is slowly approaching with the gun leveled at Trinity. So go ahead and give me just a strength plus athletics check.
That's 2 successes.
As he's slowly crossing the room near the bank of drawers towards you, Trinity, suddenly one of the drawers flies open. It smashes into his side. He grunts, but unfortunately, due to the awkward nature of you trying to lever it open from the inside, doesn't have quite the impact you were hoping for, so he neither goes to the ground nor loses a grip on the gun. But it does give you enough time, Joe, to stand up out of it and level your own pistol at him, and suddenly it's a standoff. And this guy, Mike, you think his name was, just sighs heavily. Gun still aimed at Trinity, but very cognizant of the fact that you now have the drop on him. Shit.
Easy there, Tiger.
You shoot me, we're gonna have SAPD on all our asses in a few minutes tops.
Who the fuck are you and what the fuck are you doing here?
I'm cleaning up a mess.
Well, it looks like so am I.
What are we gonna do about that, huh?
Well, we could just stand here. Or you could dance. So what's it gonna be?
Look, I didn't want it to come to this. I was originally gonna deal with that kooky doctor, blame this whole mess on him, but you're both making my life real complicated.
Well, it's hard to blame something on a doctor whose neck you just broke in the hallway.
We can just all go our separate ways. We're done here. We were about to leave. We won't tell anyone about this. We're not speaking to cops or anything.
See, I really wish I could believe you. But I got my marching orders.
Who from?
From people you really don't want to fuck with, lady.
It's a little odd, don't you think? Who are you gonna pin that on? This doc disappeared. He was here. He's a pretty gregarious character, if you ask me. And, oh yeah, the nursing student who came in to do her field dressing class for that extra credit. So, unless you kill both of us. And you've already killed the receptionist, I imagine?
I'm not a mass murderer. The doc, well, let's just say he wasn't the sort of person they were gonna miss. You two, on the other hand, shit. You're not wrong. This definitely makes things more difficult. Like I said, I'm a professional, not a maniac.
What are we looking at? Are we thinking... I no longer have Sense the Uncanny, but...
Well, you do know a thing or two about a thing or two. Joe, you could give me a intelligence plus cult roll. I would allow you to add your desperation to that, since you are technically in a active confrontation, as there is, you are leveling a gun on somebody.
That's 5 successes.
5 successes. You're starting to connect the dots. It's daylight. Obviously, the real creepy crawlies wouldn't be able to come out and play, but Slim did talk about the fact that they had other ways of moving their chess pieces around. Called them Renfields.
We got a fucking ghoul on our hands.
He stiffens when you say that, almost like he knows what you're talking about, but he doesn't know how you know, and that clearly freaks him out just a little bit, and that pretty much confirms it.
I know what you are. I don't know what made you, but I know what you are.
Son of a bitch, woman, you are really, really not making my day easy.
Well, how about we make all our days easy? And you back up out of here, back all the way out of this morgue, and march your ass right back to your master. Tell him that, I don't know, traffic was really bad.
Joe, and this one truly is for the whole enchilada. I need you to give me manipulation or charisma plus intimidation. I will allow you to add 2 extra dice to this roll because of your foreknowledge. But depending on how roll goes, events will either go one way or they will go another.
And I'm not satisfied with 3 successes, so I am going to willpower this again. And I'm going to take that critical on a 7.
With 7 successes on a critical, you can see this guy is definitely spooked. Maybe not by you per se, but clearly he was expecting things to go a certain way when he came here, and this has gone very, very much off the rails. All right, shit. All right, no need to turn this into the shootout in the middle of the county coroner's office.
Clean up your mess on the way out. And if I see your ass around again, I swear to God, I will shoot you right between the eyes. You understand me?
Sure. He's gonna back up. He hasn't lowered the gun, but he is backing up slowly. Just says,
I'm not lowering my gun either.
and he's still talking. He says, there's a deal to be made here. I got something that I need to do, but at the same time, if you're in the know, then you also know that the people I work for ain't just gonna let you live in peace. They're real, testy about that sort of thing.
I haven't lived in peace in San Arroyo in 20 years.
All right. Don't say I didn't warn you, lady.
Who do you work for?
Nice try.
I shoot him in the foot.
Give me dexterity plus firearms.
That's 4 successes.
Yeah, that's enough. You shoot him in the foot, and he, perhaps mistakenly thinking there was some kind of truce going on here, is not prepared for that. Immediately, he falls to the ground. Fuck! What have you done? Somebody definitely heard that.
Can I take this opportunity to throw a jar of fucking formaldehyde on this guy?
If you like.
Yeah, I would like.
So he gets shot in the foot, falls to the ground, then you just fucking pour formaldehyde all over him, and he starts coughing, what? Hey, wait, you gotta fucking set me on fire in a government building? You insane?
I will, if you don't tell us who you're working for, and I will hold out the lighter above him.
Fucking psycho.
One of you skewered my fucking brother last night, so I'm done playing games.
Scooches back, leaving a noticeable trail of blood from his injured foot. as he puts
Drop
his
the gun.
Right, all right. He puts the gun down. He's kind of got his back up against one of these, the base, one of these medical tables. He's got his hands up. You can see his face has gone pale and he's sweating. And now he stinks of embalming fluid. Like, this is really not this poor guy's day.
So you can tell us who you work for? Or is she going to light you on fire?
He keeps looking back. Yeah, he's looking between the two of you, and he keeps looking back out towards the hallway, because somebody definitely heard that gunshot. I can't.
Why do you have to get rid of the body? What's up with the murders? Why is there a break-in?
Because it's evidence, okay?
Evidence of what?
Evidence of them. There's these crazy fuckers running around.
I'm gonna look at Joe. Do you know what he's talking about?
I imagine he is talking about those cats that we barbecued outside of your place the other day, but he smells a little funny. And I'm not just talking formaldehyde. He's got to work for one of them.
Wait. Yeah, that was... That barbecue in Berendo's Valley, that was you?
Sure was.
Shit, you got like a pyromania thing going on?
Nah. I just don't take too kindly to a bunch of shabby-looking teenage undead trying to kill people I care about.
Look, that wasn't... Look. The people I work for weren't party to that, okay? They aren't any happier about that situation than you are.
Who do you work for?
You can hear footsteps coming down the hall.
Joe, I think we have to go. We need to go.
Motherfucker. Joe starts hollering as loud as she can about some guy breaking in while we were doing this thing and just putting on such a scene about this guy having tried to attack us.
I'm gonna make a willpower check for this guy. He is in quite a bind. Fuck! Alright, Masav. I work for a guy named Masav.
Thank you for that information. I appreciate it so much. What was your name again?
Mike Phillips.
Mike Phillips. I got a last name too. Doggone it. That foot must smart, huh? Well, listen here, Mike Phillips. Like I said, if I ever see your ugly mug again, I'll shoot you right between the eyes. Anyway, Trinh, shall we be going? And Joe kind of like stumbles through the doors and busts them open and goes, "There's some guy. I don't know what happened. He just tore in here. I'm so sorry, Trinh. We gotta get home." And we're making a big scene on the way out and just making our way through the hallway out to the front door.
As you run into the hallway, you see the receptionist accompanied by a security guard with like his nightstick already out. Sees the two of you. The two of you are gonna need to give me some form of charisma or composure plus either performance or persuasion.
4 successes.
I got 1 success. And I'm thinking that I might need to willpower one last time.
Well, as you choose. That is a cumulative 5 successes, however. So I think these two clearly have already discovered the body in the hallway. They see you in hysterics. The security guard immediately rushes into the morgue. And I imagine you two aren't sticking around for the aftermath. You two are booking it.
Yeah. I think Trinh is hyperventilating, which helped mask them, but she's also hyperventilating for real.
Joe grabs Trin's hand and squeezes it and says, "I got you. Let's go. Come on."
Okay.
All right. As the two of you make a break for the back entrance to the coroner's office. Meanwhile, back at the Scarlet Sage, what are the two of you looking for exactly?
History, I think. I don't know, something with the area. I guess it's not going to say vampires did this and planned this murder 50 years in advance because they're immortal and shit anywhere. I'm just letting the expert handle it, literally and figuratively.
Okay, so Maria is not at all an expert on the occult, but I think the intention of sending us here was to find out, I don't know, possible prior incidents that we could pin on vampires.
You do have the global access edge, and we did discuss how that works a little differently for you, given that we're not quite in the internet age yet. So I will say, given that you are, an anthropologist, and you obviously know how to find research, you know how to find that precise historical needle in a haystack, especially when it comes to books. You can give me a global access edge test.
5 successes.
And in fairness, this Marco guy, he does have a really impressive collection. It is a bit all over the place, admittedly. There's a lot of books mainly on the occult, but on a broad range of different subjects. Not a lot of stuff on San Arroyo specifically. You find this one book. You can see it doesn't have a title on it. It looks almost like an old journal. And I do mean old, like there's like literal dust caked into the cover. Curiously inspecting it, you open it up and you see on the back of the front cover, there's a little, it's very faded, but you see little stenciled text that says property of Armando Albuquerque, physician, explorer, and seeker of secret truths.
Armando Albuquerque. Now that is a quack scientist name. She starts flipping through.
Actually, you know an Armando Albuquerque. He's actually a rather infamous historical figure in San Arroyo.
Oh.
Yeah, supposedly he's he's who we have to thank for the infamous Vermillo, as apparently he once marketed it as some kind of miracle elixir derived from...
right, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
We have a collection of his bottles back at the university.
Indeed, he was a rather polarizing figure. On the one hand, almost the textbook definition of a snake oil salesman. On the other hand, the township apparently trusted him enough back in the day. He had his own apothecary business in town.
I think she looks down at the book and looks over to Patience and says, I swear to God, if notorious historical snake oil salesman and likely cocaine purveyor Armando Albuquerque turns out to have been a secret vampire hunter, I am going to lose my mind for real.
Shit. You know it'd be worse, Maria?
What would be worse, Patience?
If he was a secret vampire.
You are sadly correct. And now she looks through the book.
Patience is like under her elbow looking at it.
It is a dense text. It is one part journal, one part cookbook is the best way you could describe it. There's a lot of weird formulae for what you're not exactly certain. Fair amount of chemistry, fair amount of what you think might be old school hermetic alchemy. Patience, as you're looking over your shoulder, you spot a couple of terms that directly relate to Navajo spiritualism, actually, although this guy clearly
clearly did not know what he was talking about in some areas.
Oh, yeah. Probably got sold a bunch of sand and told it was corpse powder and to walk 3 times around an Asher. Oh, he actually wrote that. Oh my god, I hope it was one of my ancestors who fucking scammed him.
You know, I'm hoping for that too.
Eventually, however, find an interesting section. Apparently, Mr. Albuquerque thought it was important enough to devote a whole passage to it because it has, unlike a lot of the other sections, it has a title. It is inscribed as the Tamiut people of the Red Rocks.
Uh-huh.
It speaks of this Albuquerque person going out, speaking to a lot of the indigenous folks throughout what was then not even Yorkshire County yet. It was just some larger unmapped part of the California territory. And noting that the one commonality was that even the natives avoided Red Rocks Canyon, citing some kind of vile presence that occupied that place long before even their time. They spoke of a people without sun. Apparently, that's what Tamayut means, some kind of lost Uto-Aztecan dialect, as best as he can translate. How these creatures would come out after dark, regularly kidnap and attack locals to the region long before any colonists ever got here. And up very soon, the indigenous peoples learned to avoid the region at all costs, setting up special warning signs in the region so that any others who traveled would see the marks they left behind and know under no circumstances to go there. And you see, scratched in the margins is this symbol, this circle with lines radiating into it, which apparently represented, again, even Albuquerque isn't very clear. A hunger? No, hunger's not a strong enough word. Complete and total devouring.
An inverse sun.
The opposite of light. Not darkness. Something worse.
Now, Storyteller, this symbol wouldn't have happened to have been on the dig site or any of the things we got from it, would it?
Oh, it absolutely was. It was all over the entrance to the cave.
I think Maria gently closes the book, sets it down, and then goes and rests her head against one of the bookshelves. If I haven't gone insane, and what you all are saying is true, I think either us or the theme park dug up an ancient pre-colonial vampire. Possibly a bunch.
Yeah. Fuck.
And I think on that realization, that is an excellent place to end the session.